Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. As per the time refers to, ladies and gentlemen, greetings to the day. This is Meraj Kidwai and you're watching Vertex, the solution of every need. I hope you all are doing wonderfully well and taking care of yourselves. To know more about me, who am I, what I do and what are my credentials, you're more than welcome on my website, that is www.vertexsolution.com. Before I begin speaking on the topic of today's video that I've chosen to speak on to, I would greatly like to thank the people, the visitors, the viewers, the subscribers of this channel. Thank you so very much for appreciating me and motivating me and liking me. That really motivates me also to post such kind of videos more on health and psychology and education. Your appreciation, your motivation is extremely valuable for me. Keep visiting, keep viewing, keep sharing, and keep sharing your feedbacks, your thoughts also about the same. Please share your feedback also in the form. You can go to the website and fill up the feedback form and leave your feedbacks there as well. So we will definitely work on to it. Um, and I greatly appreciate each one of you. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. So what I wanted to talk about is on reinvention of an individual. I just finished up my day. I had a long day. I had my session still late, and then after that, I had my studies also. So, this thought just came in my mind, and I thought of recording on this as well because we talk about disorders, we talk about cognition, and many other aspects of psychology. So, somewhere we don't throw as much light as it should be thrown on this particular topic, that is reinvention of an individual in psychology. So, reinventing oneself is very, very essential. It is extremely essential no matter at what stage of one's life a person is, and uh, no matter where you have reached as per your aspirations and your goals, and no matter where you have to go further in your life. During our journey, during this process that is the life, the process of our life, we have multiple choices in our personal and professional lives, and those choices determine the future outcomes as well of our lives. Sometimes there are good choices, sometimes there are bad choices. So the differentiation of the good and the bad choices really affects us as an individual, and the transformation that each of the experiences with each of those choices that comes along with those choices transforms us as an individual in a positive or a negative way, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm trying to say here, that reinvention after a process is very important, because once we keep reinventing ourselves, what is reinvention? First of all, we need to understand, in the times of innovations and inventions and technology and science and all that, we keep on discussing how much we reinvent ourselves, our own individuality, our own personality. And is it possible? To a certain extent, yes, it is possible, because if we little bit try to transform our perceptions, or the way we view anything in our life, the way we see anything in our life, uh, probably developing more sensitivity and empathy for our own self as well. I keep on saying in my videos that we need to have empathy. um, Empathy is a very deep subject, and surely I will record a video separately on empathy as well, because I don't want to summarize empathy. Empathy is a very deep subject to talk about. So, in short, if I would say that empathy is an ability to feel how other person or other individual is feeling in a particular situation. And empathy is very much required for our own self as well, that how we are feeling about ourselves right now in a particular situation, and what are our own feelings, and are those feelings transforming us in a positive way, or are those feelings transforming us in a negative way? So there's a fine line where we reinvent ourselves in the process of that transformation that comes with the choices along choices that we make in our lives, that brings experience, right? So that transformation can be controlled, and it is very much required that we must reflect onto our choices. How we make choices, this is an important subject to understand. Ladies and gentlemen, we make choices based on our assessments, on our judgments, on our perceptions. And those choices defines us who we are, how we will become in the future, what will be the future outcome. Sometimes, suppose for example, let's say I made a choice of trusting an individual. I trusted an individual as a friend, as an employee, as a worker. Now, my choice of trust was in my control based on a certain assumption of assessment about that individual. Now, his choice of not being worthy of my trust, of a relationship, of a whether a professional one or a personal one, defines his or her future outcomes. And my trust defines my future outcomes. That is how socially I will be as an individual, or how I can be a good assessor of people in terms of making choices, of building relationships. So, at times, few things are not in our control that determines that how should we make certain choices, and whether what choice we had made is worthy enough to be sustained or not. So, what I'm trying to say is that with every choice based on a particular assessment comes with an experience that transforms us. And that transformation can also be a reinvention of ourselves. Now, reinvention, when I talk about reinventing oneself, it is very clear that I'm talking about reinvention of oneself in a positive way. Positive way in a manner which creates a curiosity or develops a curiosity of an individual, no matter or at what sort of an age you are. You keep on learning, you keep on exploring, you keep on searching more about your own self, about the people around you, about the society, and also develop new relationships, new skills, new theories about life, and develops education yourself as well. That reinvents you as an individual, ladies and gentlemen. So, how can we go through this process? I mean, this sounds really simple, but this is not simple. This is quite, because when you feel transformed, that means you reinvented yourself on some aspect of your life, whether it's a professional aspect or a personal aspect. So, to reinvent oneself, the process of transformation that you go through needs a crucial assessment from your own end, ladies and gentlemen. And that crucial assessment is based on your abilities of judging your own feelings, the acceptance, the factor of acceptance of the past, the present, and where you would like your future to go, prioritizing that, strategizing that with emotional intelligence and emotional balance, which is extremely important through all this process, and creating certain habits in you which can change you from your past. For example, I was a very careless individual in the past, and I made certain choices in my life that, you know, maybe those were not intentional choices. I mean, or careless choices that, you know, put me into some situations which the situation uh, situations those were not favorable in any way for me. So, you know, so to determine that the choices of my past based on my carelessness, how can I assess that and bring a certain transition in the way I assess, judge, perceive, view, objectify people, situation, society, or a decision around my life that reinvents my personality, that takes me into a different or a positive direction in the future or in the present. This is how we reinvent ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. So, during all this process, crucial uh, decision making is extremely important. Creating certain habits that takes us in a positive direction, of course, and most importantly, we need to keep building and reinventing in the form of new education or a new skill, or uh, being more, I would say, open minded rather than uh, as you're growing uh, more and more. It's important that the horizons of your thinking needs to be broadened more. The way you view life, the way you view death, the way you view the transformations about death and the society as a whole. So rather than, I would say the divergence has to happen the more you start growing, because with time, the more you start growing, the more transformations and experiences and choices you've gone through already. When you've gone through already, so rather than the convergence, it should be the divergence. Okay, so that your mind should work in such a way that you can think broadly, and that is how you are able to reinvent yourself as an individual, and that brings a lot of curiosity about life, brings a lot of hope and happiness, of course. And this also enlightens us with a thought that, I would say that at any point in our life we reach, whether in terms of a career, whether in terms of our personal life, we can never ever know everything. So that the door of curiosity needs to be opened to reinvent ourselves on every level. So I hope I'm able to break this down for everyone out there, that how can you reinvent yourself. I know this is little complex, but I hope I'm able to communicate with right set of uh, statements, words, and sentences that can break down for you to understand how to reinvent yourself. So, reinvent yourself, ladies and gentlemen, no matter at what stage of your life you are. It is very important. And I just want you to keep smiling like this as always. And uh, uh, life is extremely beautiful. That's all I want to say. So, keep enjoying it, keep taking care of yourself, and keep reinventing yourself at every stage of your life. Thank you so very much for watching, giving me so much of your time, and it's a pleasure for me. Thank you and have a great day.